Hi everyone, I'm Graddles, and welcome back or welcome to the Best Start 2 series. This is the final episode. So yes, we're going to get to the end. We are going to finish phase 5. We're going to submit the parts, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the end of the game and you don't want to see the end of the game, just, fast forward or skip it, or I'll put a chapter in so you can get to the end, and you want to stay to the end. See what we're going to do next. So if you've been with me throughout the whole series, I want to explain some things, what I might do next, and go from there. And I would also love suggestions from you. Also, I have a Discord, and I just realized that I am missing one of my things there. It's fine. I'm looking at it and I see it. I'm going to fix it. But anyway, today we're going to be doing dark matter crystals, superposition oscillators, neural quantum processors, singularity cells. We're going to do some portals, and we're gonna not hypertube, what the hell am I talking about? We're gonna use the portals to warp somewhere. I can't think of the proper name, but it will come to me later. I'm sure of it. And then we're going to do all our phase 5 things. We only have 2 milestones left in tier 9. One is blueprints, the 3, and the other is sporadical, I don't know, whatever. We're going to get to that. But anyway, let's jump in. We'll start with the dark matter crystals, the superposition oscillators, and the quantum processors. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So we are going to be making dark matter crystal. We're going to be making, where is it? The neural quantum processor. And we're going to be making, let's come on down, the superposition oscillator in this set right here. So I have nothing else set up. This is what I set up so far, and I'm going to give you a quick look at what's in the machines, what we need, how we set them up. So anyway, we did 3 of each, 3, 3, and 3. So over here, we might as well just pop in here. I did 2 power shards. It's going to be putting out the 6 neural quantum processors and 150 dark matter residue. So that's going to be very important. It's a byproduct that we need to get rid of in order for it to keep running. We have to bring in time crystals. We have those. Supercomputers. We have those. The fixit trigons. We have those. And excited photonic matter. You might be thinking, what the hell is that? Yeah, that's it. You put down a converter and you put power to it. And there you have it. I don't know what happened with the developers of the game at this point. I don't know whether they just had a plan for it and didn't know where to go with it, or they decided to just make it easy for us, but that's it. So yes, so I have these at 200. We technically only need 150. So the reason why I set this up, again, the last couple episodes I've been setting up a little bit more instead of building the whole thing throughout with you, is because we've built so much so far into the series that I think you get the idea. I mean, really, you just plop the machines down, and as long as I show you the numbers, then, I mean, you know how to hook up belts, you know how to hook up electricity, and if you're new to my channel, then if you go back in the series, you'll definitely figure out how to do all those things. Due to this being matter, you can move it around, you can push it up, it's fine, not a problem. Alright, so I will set up pictures for you guys to see what's in the machines, but this is, I'm just going to give you a clear look. We are taking in the time crystals, supercomputers, fixit trigons, and that excited photonic matter, 2 power shards. You know what? I probably won't post pictures because I think it's kind of monotonous. We're doing the same thing over again. I'm showing you here. So we are making neural quantum processors, 2 power shards, 150 is the dark matter coming out of one machine, and that's really all you need to know because we have 3, so it's going to be a 1-to-1 ratio. Before we get, well, let's go ahead. Let's jump into here. So over here, we have the dark matter trap. It's an alternative recipe. Now, you can get a couple of alternative recipes for the dark matter crystals. The original one right here takes diamonds. We do have diamonds, and we could use diamonds, but with the one over here, this one, and let's bypass that a second. This one, you just need dark matter residue, but you need quite a bit of dark matter residue to get to the dark matter crystals, and you only make 50. This one, just by using the time crystals, I make 150 dark matter crystals, per minute, and 375 is the input. Now, I'm not quite sure about the input here. Let me double check here. So this is 150, and this is 375. I think we actually backed this out a little bit, but we'll see. We have to look at the other numbers, but I'll let you know when we get to that. So let's go over here. So that's the alternative recipe we're using. Let's come over to here. Okay, 150 is the output of that. And what did I say? 150 was the output of this. So that would make this 300. So we're gonna underclock this to 300, which should be 125. Not quite. 120? Maybe 120. Let's see. 120. Yep, perfect. Okay, so we only need 2 in here. Perfect. So we got 2 in here, and then 2 in here. That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it in here, and I'm going to paste it in here. So by doing that, the 150 and the 150 output from each of the machines will give us 120 crystal dark matter crystals. Perfect. So I'll get back to that in a second. Over here, we're making superposition oscillators. And the reason why we have to go from there to here is because this is going to take the dark matter crystals. So in order to get the dark matter residue, we need to make the dark matter, the superposition oscillators first, which is not going to be a big deal. So once we start these up, as you can see, just one cycle of these is going to produce 120, and these only need 36, and that's going to be fine. It'll catch up. Besides the dark matter crystal, which again we're pulling from here to here, is 1 crystal oscillator, which is 6 per minute actually, 54 per minute outclad sheets, and that excited photonic matter. And that will be coming from here, just like before. That says 125. We can just overclock you could just leave them at 200. As long as they're getting enough, that's all that matters. And if you have power, then don't worry about it. So you don't have to worry about setting those up. This is fine. So, and this is actually taking 150 per minute. So I had switched the recipes a couple of times because I wasn't sure what was going to work perfectly. This works perfectly. I ran it, it works, and this is where we want to be. So anyway, just a quick overlook. 2 power shards in the neural quantum processors. We have 3 of those. 2 power shards in the dark matter trap, the alternative recipe, which takes the time crystals. And then if we come back over to here, this the only one that's a little different. This is 1 power shard, but it's 6 per minute. So just make sure you have it 6 per minute. So anyway, let's go ahead. We're going to turn on the first set of machines. I set these up with some power switches per modulars. So, well, not modulars exactly, but per each section of our factory here. So this is going to get turned on. Now, take note of the electric. We were at like 150. We just turned this on. and you're gonna see your power get absorbed very quickly. But anyway, these guys are gonna get to work filling up. Supercomputers, where are you? Oh, I did not hook these guys up, so that makes sense. We gotta put the belts in. There we go. I was wondering why that power didn't go crazy. Okay, that's in. All right, there we go. Now we are producing. Let's go back. Ooh, don't delete. Let's go back to here. Now we could take a look at our power. So 50 is our max cons. Not terrible. So now these are going to fill up. I'm going to have to put storage down underneath. But for now, I want to turn on our next set of machines, which are these. And it's going to take a minute or two, obviously, to get the dark matter residue coming in. And the time crystals we have to hook up underneath. So what I did was, I'm going to show you really quick. I just put these down here, the lifts. And we're going to go ahead and put on the splitters. Wow, I hit my head on a light. Like so. And then we're just going to connect them together. So I didn't leave everything out. I want to give you a little bit to look at. It's fine. Alright, so down here, because this was an afterthought, I did not set this up because I thought I was going to use just the dark matter residue recipe. And I didn't. So I'm going to have to split this. And you could split it like that. Next, we're going to just bring this down underneath in here. I'm hoping that should be enough. We'll find out. Let's sneak down. That is. Okay. Next, we're going to just connect these up to here. So I'm going to just press R. Let's see how close we are to... There we go. And now those time crystals are going to get split for those. That's fine. Let's go back upstairs. Now these should start working, obviously. We could fix our floor here. Let's do that. Alright, so now these are going to be pushing and making the dark matter crystals. Now don't forget, this is going to be low on this after a little bit because we're only pulling in so much, right? I did put some storage under these guys for the dark matter crystals, just in case, but I think that'll change later on. We will need storage for all of these, but just for now, I just wanted them to back up a little bit. And this way, once I turn on the machine, we said we needed 36 just to get through the one cycle. So we could turn these on. So let's go ahead and turn these on. Again, take a look at that power. So we'll come back to the power in a minute. Let's take a look and make sure everything's going in. And that's filling up. So let's take a look at our particle accelerators. Make sure they're getting the dark matter. So that should start now pushing out into here. And it should level off eventually, because these should start filling up. If not, we have a problem. But technically, 150 and 150 should equal the 300. Now, we might get some slow up, this produces at a, whatever. It should work. So that's my hope. I'm in no rush. So if it has to stop a second and idle a second to fill up, I'm not too worried about it, right? It's not a big deal. We're at the end of the game. But anyway, that is what we're doing. We are making now dark matter crystals, neural quantum processors, and superposition oscillators. So next, we have to go ahead to the hub and we have to submit our stuff in order to get our next milestone going. So technically we only have blueprints and sporadical something, spatical, whatever it is. I don't even know. I have to go back there. But anyway, there's only 2 more milestones. I'm going to go and complete those right now. Alrighty, so I submitted all this. The pod is on its way back, hopefully shortly. Well, in about 9 minutes. And that was pretty quick, pretty easy, because we had all these parts except for this one, which is the neural quantum processor. We were making those, so as soon as we got 100, I threw it in here and sent it out. Next, we have this. Not too bad. We have everything we need except the superposition oscillators, which we are making. So as soon as the pod comes back, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to submit this, and then we're going to start setting up for singularity cells. So I'll be back. All right, so I submitted all the things we needed for the singularity cells. So we are finished with milestones. And here we are, singularity cells. We need nucleopasta, we're making that. We need dark matter crystal, we're making that. We need 100 iron plates, which is 250 actually, because we're overclocking this. So we are overclocking this by 3. The only probably holdup we're gonna have is concrete. Don't listen to me. Concrete. Why are we gonna have issues with concrete? Because we were still working with 480 belt systems, and when I ran all that concrete in, they were still run at 480. This is going to be taking 1,000, so I'm going to pull some more concrete, and hopefully, I mean, we don't need to be making these in large amounts, but I just did it because I could do it, right? Could you turn this down? Absolutely. You don't have to overclock this high. In fact, I could turn it down. So I'm going to run all these things in and set them up. I only have 2 of these, just 2. And I got to run all the belts over, which is, some of them I have. I think concrete I do have. Nucleopasta is being made. I just got to bring it over. The dark matter crystals, we're just going to pull from over there, which is in a storage system underneath. Let me show you that really quickly. So over here, I have one over here, and I think I'm just going to put this out to a probably dimensional depot. This way we'll have them on hand if we need them. So we'll just do that. But these 2 will go to each of the machines. So that is where we're going to pull the dark matter crystals from. And yeah, that's simply it. I'm just going to run the belts and I'll be back. Alright, so everything's run in here. I think the only thing I'm going to have to... What is this? Why is this? Oh, I didn't connect this belt. It's fine. Let's go ahead and connect this. I did not. Mark 5 should be fine. So Mark 6, I think I'm going to have to up the concrete to Mark 6. But I'll worry about that later. I set up the power. Everything's being run and put in. There we go. So everything is set to go. I'm just going to turn on the power and we'll see how it goes. I know the concrete is going to be a problem. And look at that power. Boy, oh boy. But we're still only using half. Not terrible. Not terrible. So anyway, here's our singularity cells. There's that slow concrete. Like I said, I'm going to put Mark 6 in there to at least where we're making the concrete. And that should help quite a bit. But anyway, I'm not in any rush. I'm going to set up some storage for these guys and kind of let it run for a little bit. And then we're going to go and move on to phase 5. Now, if I'm going too quickly for you, you could rewind and double check everything. Make sure you got all the numbers right. We just worked on the quantum processors, the dark matter crystals, and the superposition oscillators, and now the singularity cells. And again, we just did the last 2 milestones. Also, I have a Discord. If you want to come into my Discord, ask me for pictures, ask me for help. There's plenty other people there too that would help you. But I have no problem helping you or showing you some more pictures or giving you a hand with anything. These machines are yellow. That just means they're full. That's fine. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna organize this stuff, get it all straightened out. Hopefully the concrete will come in a little quicker, and we'll go from there. Alright, so as expected, even with upping the concrete to the Mark 6, it's still coming in really slow, but I've let this run a little bit, and we do have quite a bit of singularity cells in our storage. We almost filled up 2 of the small ones. And that's fine. That's kind of all we need, really. The same thing's going with the time crystals, because we split them between those machines and the particle accelerators, but we still are getting them in, and we have a lot of storage for those as well. So I'm not worried at all about time crystals either. Again, this is end of the game. You know, we're pretty close to being done here. Let's go over to where we're going to prep for our phase 5, because phase 5, I do all the phases on the fly. That's just how I do them. A lot of people set them up, keep them for the end game. I don't know why. Never did. And it's fine. I have over 2,000 hours in the game, and you could still beat it this way. So, anyway, we need that 1,000 nuclear pasta. I set this up because, oh, you know what? I shouldn't have done that. Let me do that because I want to clean my inventory. That is the wrong one. There we go. And, I like to work with a clean inventory when I do this, so let's go ahead and grab the power and clean our inventory out. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to check on, alright, we have summer sloops. We have a couple of summer sloops, which will be good because we're going to need them probably. Power shards, we seem to be pretty good on those for now. Anyway, we need 1,000 nuclear pasta. I already pulled them. We already have them. That's complete. We need 1,000 of the biochemical sculptors or whatever, ballistic warp drives, and that's for the AI expanders. So anyway, let's go with the 1,000 first. Biochemical sculptors. I think that might be a manufacturer. Let's just put something down here. Let's move it a little further here. Let's see what we got. This is ballistic warp drives. Okay, so let's just select that for a second. Yep, that's one of them. Okay, and then let's press Q again. I know we need a blender, so let's see what that will do. That's the sculptors. That's what we need 1,000 of, so we'll get rid of that a second. We're going to take this, put it over here, like so. Let's get rid of that. Alright, so let's see what we need for this. So we need those assembly directors, which I made a whole bunch from phase 4, kept them here, so that will be first thing we need. So let's go ahead and put that in there. We're just going to take everything out of here, put it in here. There we go, and we'll take our little sign, put it there, and get rid of this. Alright, so first things first, we need the assembly directors, we need trigons, and we need water. I did bring in water down here for something else. It should be somewhere over here. I think it's over here. Whoa, whoa. So I think I brought in more water than I needed on purpose because I knew we were going to need it. And that would be in here. Let's see where we are. So this is being brought down this way. And let's see where it goes. Just want to make sure I use the right one. So over here, we are dropping in just one of the waters, I believe. Let's double check that. That's one water. Yeah, we still have 3 water. Alright, perfect. Now that I just broke in and I didn't have to. So we could pull from any one of these waters. And that should be fine. Where are we going to run it? Probably off to the side and up. It's not a big deal. Let's come over here. Alright. So we have some power here. I'm just going to pull from there. Put it right there. And let's see. We're going to drop down. There's our water. We're going to open up. Where are we here? I just want to make sure I come to the side. So right about there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a pipe. I'm going to press R and go vertical. We're going to come right down straight if we can to there. I'm going to come off of here. I'm going to delete that pipe there. Nope, I don't want to grab that. I want to grab this. Nope. Gosh darn it. Let's grab this. Well, let's see if we can come right into... Let's grab a floor here. That's going to be a big help. There we go. Grab that. We could do straight. And we got some water. We're going to need a pump for sure. So let's go ahead and grab a pump. I'll do a Mark II. Why not? I'm going to place it low. And let's see where we can get some power. I could probably just grab there. And then put it to there. There we go. I'm going to just hook that up so I see if the water is going in properly. And then that can go right there. Alright, so there's our water. And it seems like that's not a problem. We are going to overclock this. And we're going to somersault this. There we go. So next we need the assembly directors. That's easy enough. Doesn't really matter what belt we use. It's definitely doesn't need that many, but it's fine. And then we need some fix-it trigons. Alright, let's see. I know I'm pulling them somewhere. That's the train. That's that. There's the trigons there. What is that belt? It's empty. Oh, the time crystals. Poor time crystals. They can't keep up. It's fine. So we're going to put a splitter here. I'm going to take a lift, go up, and then I'm just going to run that across. Let's go straight. At least I know it's clean. And we'll take that right on into there. Oh, that's fine. We could have just done that. All right, well, let's get rid of that. All right, let's do that again. I know it's nothing crazy. It's not even staying, but it's fine. All right, so let's do that. All right, that's going to start making what we need. I'm going to take another one of these. I'm going to just pop it over here. And then I'm just going to take that and put it into there. And we are now making our biochemical sculptors. Perfect. All right, next on the list is... What is this? 2 ballistic warp drives and AI expanders. So I do know that one of these is going to be made in a manufacturer. So let's go ahead and grab that. Let's go right about there. And we'll drop down. And the ballistic warp drives. So we need those thermal propulsion rockets, which are in here. What is this for? Ballistic warp drives. That should be it. See, I look and I don't. Thermal propulsion rockets, yes. That would be the one. Alright, so let's go ahead, throw this in, throw that in. And I'm gonna go ahead and make a copy of this. Set that up to there. I'm gonna grab this sign, because I do like to know what I'm doing. And we're gonna delete that and that. Gonna come over to here. And thermal propulsion rockets. That's gonna go in to there. Let's go ahead and grab the power. There we go. And that's going in. So now we need singularity cells, superposition oscillators, and the dark matter crystals. All of which we're making already. So I'm just going to grab a couple of more of these storage bins. Let's go with this one. We can line this one with that one. Back here, could do that one and that one. All right. So I do have these in our, all 3 of them should be in a dimensional depot. So let's go in there. All right, I'm going to sort through this. We're going to dump some of this stuff off in the sink. This is why I like to keep an empty inventory. There we go. Sort that out. Perfect. Let's go back over to here. We need... I know these are the last things I put on a dimensional depot. All right, so let's start with the ones back here. There we go. I'm going to grab a storage bin, just like I did for that one. Let's line it up. I like to keep these neat. Come on. That's close enough. There we go. Dark matter crystals. Why aren't that? Did I not take the dark matter crystals? What did I take? Singular. Oh, I took the neural. That's why. Yes. Let's just do that over. Helps if you take the right thing. Let's go ahead. Dark matter crystals. Let's go back. There they are. And we'll throw them in here. Perfect. Alright. Now it'll start making. Helps when you select the right item, right? It does, you know. I think I'm just going to sync these guys. Or, you know what? Let's hold on and see what we need for the next one. Because we absolutely, positively might need them for the next one. So, let's not throw them out. Alright. So, these guys need to be made for the AI expansions. What do we need for an AI expansion? Quantum encoder. I think that's what it is. But let's put the output that way. There we go. Alright, let's see what we need. Power, for one. We don't want to clip. Gosh. No, don't clip. Alright, so we need those magnetic field generators. So let's go ahead and grab those first. Let's open my inventory. That's fine. I'm going to get rid of some of that stuff. There we go. Let's grab this. Put that there. Actually, you know what? I don't want to put it there. I want to put it closer. Why can't I fit that? You know what? We're going to move it up a little bit. And the reason being is I want it to fit right there perfectly. So let's move it up. We got plenty of room. There we go. Alright, so we're going to do that. That. Let's press E. And we have to delete the ones up here. And copy the sign. Let's delete that. Copy that sign. We could put that on this one. It's fine. And we could put all of those in there. Perfect. And delete the sign. Alright, so what else do we need? Let's hook this up to power. So we need... Oh, perfect. The neural one. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Alright, we could put that in there. And then we have one more. Let's go ahead and line this one up. Perfect. And what's the other thing we need? Excited photonic matter and superposition oscillators. So, superposition oscillators, we know we have here. I'm going to probably have to pull some more out of storage. That'll be fine. And excited photonic matter, we know how to make that. That is simply with a converter. And then we just pipe this in. Just like that. Hook it up to some power. Like so. We are going to overclock this and summer sloop it. There we go. And how much photonic matter do we need? Overclock 250. So we can overclock this. Excited photonic matter. And overclock this to 250, which we don't need that much. There we go. 300 will be fine. Alright, so I'm going to go grab some more of those superposition oscillators because we definitely need those. And I'm going to let this run for a little bit. And I'm going to fill it up as we need it. And we're going to put some storage on the end of this one. Let's go ahead this way. And now it's just a waiting game. Just waiting, filling, and going with it. So anyway, we could take a look at the numbers here. We need 256 from this. We are also summer slooping. So that's awesome. Let's take a look at our power really quick. Not terrible, considering. I mean, look at that. So that's not too bad. Again, we're summer slooping everything, so we should be doubling everything. So we'll get 2 times the output. This we only need 200 of. I'm just going to have to keep an eye on these and keep them full. And this, again, this is what we need 1,000 of. This is going to take the longest by far. But besides for the, yeah, I mean, we don't have to feed this at all. This one is self-sufficient. We're pulling the trigons right there. We have enough of these that are already made, and the water's coming in. So, yeah, I'll be back when this is finished, and we'll be able to complete phase 4 and beat the game. So anyway, I'll be back. Okay, so I forgot that this has a byproduct of dark matter residue. So what I did was I just put an industrial buffer on here, and I could just clean this out really easily like that. And if I need more, I'll put it on there, but that's what stopped these from being made. I totally forgot about that, but I actually might put a couple of these guys in, so this way it will last quite a while, and then we don't have to worry about it. And then when we need to flush it, we could flush all pipe networks and just clean it right out. There we go. So this will stay no problem. There we go. Now we're making our AI expansion servers super quick, and we only need 256 of these. I did have to fill up some stuff, but nothing crazy. Mostly just the time crystals, which is fine. And I do want to take you over, not the time crystals, the dark matter crystals. Why do I keep saying time crystals? Dark matter crystals. Let's just grab those, throw them into here. There we go. And then we have plenty of those. These we need 200. Let's see what we're up to. We're getting there pretty quickly. Anyway, I want to explain something. So, time crystals. We're only making 45 of those right here. So, I have these. Well, no. Okay, that's wrong. I want to say that's wrong. Okay, we're making 30 per minute because so 90 per minute because I summer slooped them. But that was only recently. Before that, I was only making 15 each, which is 45. We need 90 per machine for these guys over here. So again, we're making 30 of those now that I overclocked them, but these take 37.5, and yeah, 37. So wait a second, how come that takes... I never underclocked these machines. Well, hello. I need to underclock these. We don't need that many. Alright, that would help. Somehow I overclocked them too far. We don't need them. Alright, so anyway, we're running out of time crystals. We need 60 for these, and we need 30 for these. That's 90 per machine, and we're only making 90. Okay? So that's a problem. So we were low on diamonds too, which we weren't, but we are now. What I could do is set up more of the... Where am I? Oh my god. Diamonds. There. This is the time crystals coming in. See how slow they are? Super slow. See, when I set these things up, I'm just like, whatever. And what ends up happening is, you run out of shit. That happens. Diamonds. So I was storing the diamonds here, right? And what I did was, I was actually making more than enough, right? So what I could do, I'm making 90 diamonds on this side, 90 diamonds on this side. I had the other two machines overclocked, and that's one of the reasons why the time crystals weren't coming in properly. So I could, if I wanted to, set up more converters to make time crystals, but I'm not really worried about it. Again, it's the end game. It's not a big deal. I'm going to be making enough of those crystal oscillators, so I'm not really worried, because the two things that take not crystal oscillators, superposition oscillators, let me get that straight, only have to make 200 and 256. So again, I'm not worried, but I do want to point that out. A lot of times I just don't care, but you guys may care, and I want to make sure that I do it properly for you guys. So that happens quite a bit with stuff. I will just not worry about it. It'll sit in storage, and then when I need it, it will be made. So here we're up to there. Let's see, what are we running low on anything? No, we're good. So I'm going to let this run still until we get to the end and fill up as we need. Obviously, we need more stuff here, which is singularity cells. So I'm going to have to fill that up. Alright, so I'll be back. Alright, so not only did we get the singularity cells and we're making the phase 5 parts, but while we're making the phase 5 parts, let's talk about the portals, because they could be useful. Not at this moment, but I mean, technically they would have been great mid-game. Now the game is almost over, and so, well, not so much. So let's just talk about it. You have to have a main portal. You put the main portal down and you connect it to power. You need singularity cells to transport yourself. You can name your portal, and I'll name this one the hub. There we go. And I'll hit enter. So now I put in, let's get out of here a second. Let's look in transportation here. Satellite portals. Now you can only transport from a satellite portal to a main portal. So you can have multiple satellite portals, but the one main one you have to constantly go back to before you can go to a different one. So I have a couple set up. Let me show you. Alright, so here we are. We're at the hub. That's the main portal. And then I got 3 of these. And those are the satellite portals. So say we want to go from here to our rocket power. And then we also have the diamonds, and we have our copper trains. And maybe eventually I'll put some out over into this area, but we don't need them right now anyway. But anyway, say we want to go to rocket fuel. I'm going to go there and select the link. It's going to heat up the system, as you can see. And once it gets fully there, we'll be able to teleport. Alright, we are ready. So just walk through the door. Alright, here we are at our rocket fuel plant. Pretty cool. Again, it's kind of late game, so I could press this again and I could change the linked portal. Now you could have another main portal somewhere, I'm assuming. I've never really tried it, but I really only have one main, so that's where I'm going to head back. And again, you set up the satellite portals the same way you do the main ones, and you can name them as soon as you come in, right on the top there. And every time you want to go to a different place, you have to change the linked portal. So I'm going to change it to the copper trains, because that's where our phase 5 parts are. And let's go see if they're done. So we're going to select that link, and then we'll head there. Any day now. There we go. Now you only have to use the singularity cells at your main portal. The satellite ones do not need it. So it'll stay powered up for you to get back. Alright, there we go. Alright, so here we are. Wow, this is not good. What the heck is going on here? I guess we'll bring this to the ground. Let's zoop this. There we go. That looks terrible, but it's fine. Alright, let's go up here. So these finished, which was quite easy actually. They were the 256. Here we needed the ballistic warp drives. I finished those. They're over here. So we got 200 of those, 256 of those, and we need 1,000 of these. Do we have it? Yes, we do. Alright, so let me clean out our inventory and let's go get ready to ship these off. I did put extras in there. I figured I might as well keep going while we're making them. It doesn't make sense not to. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 900, 1,000. Perfect. Alright, let's go pick up the nuclear pasta. We need 1,000 of those as well. Take all. These, take all. I got the exact numbers. Take all. Perfect. All right, let's go head back to our portal, take it back to the hub, and bring it to the space elevator. I can't believe this is almost done already. I feel like I just started this series like yesterday, but okay, here we go. Wow, this is the end. This is the end. Can you believe it? All right, guys, here we go. Let's take a sip of coffee here. All right. Let's go ahead and put it in. Okie dokie, here we go. Spoiler alert, if you've never seen the end and you don't want to see it until you do it, don't watch. Alright, let's go ahead and launch this. So, current, check the oil, okay? Fuel injectors, set to level 5. There we go. Activate bus 1. Where's that? Oh, that one. Set left stabilizer to 9. I think that's correct. There we go. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn gyroscopic balancer X. Okay. Turn gyro balancer Y on. There we go. All right, here we go. Wow, can't believe it's done. I shouldn't be standing next to these particle accelerators. They are loud. Let's come over here. It's a little quieter over here. So anyway, what's next? A little break between series. I might do another series. Should I do another Best Start series? I really would like to hear your feedback on that. What would you like to see? Another Best Start series, maybe doing it completely different again. My Best Start series 1, I had factories all over the place. This I kind of did separate factories, but in a mega factory style, so I was belting things between and stuff like that. I could do a true mega factory and have one large building, maybe with I don't know, wings or tiers or so, I don't know. That's another possibility in another area maybe, or anything. Yeah, let me know. I think I will do a video on what I've learned in this series. With every time I finish the game and I go through this whole process, I learn more. And it's almost like I want to take notes and I don't, and sometimes I forget what I was thinking, but I think I'm going to sit down one day and really think about and go through the world itself, and really write down my thoughts on what maybe I would do differently, or maybe I would like to try instead of doing it the same way, or I don't know. It's one of those things. I do have plans to still be playing Satisfactory while taking a break. I know I'm taking a break from Satisfactory, but not exactly. So I'm going to do a multiplayer series with Jake Jemsen. Jemsen is on, he has a channel. I have him linked all the time, and we share a Discord together. So come in the Discord. Believe me, if you're familiar with Discord, come in, join the Discord. We are really friendly. We're in VC almost every night. You're welcome to jump in, ask questions. I'll post blueprints if you need them, pictures if you need them, or just advice or help or anything like that. So my Discord link is in the description below. And if there's any other games you would like me to try out, also put that in the comments below. I'd love to try other games. And yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. I've gained 5 memberships since starting this series. And I'm just overwhelmed with all the comments and nice thoughts and people actually joining the Discord and hanging out and becoming friends. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. And again, my memberships are 99 cents, $2.99, $2.99. You get a shout out after every video. Doesn't matter if it's this game, another game, any game, you'll still get those shout outs because you're a member of my YouTube channel. So thank you again, and just liking, subscribing, watching, sharing, doing all those good things, that's more than enough, and I appreciate it. So thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.